Hey, this is just a snippet from our podcast, but if you want to catch the full episode, that'll be on YouTube, and the extended version will be on our Patreon. Damiani. Speaking of spin-offs, with some desired lore implications, which is all we want from a spin-off. Like, give us a meaningful spin-off that actually matters. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, Damiani. Here we go again. There's a lot of fatigue with the Breath of the Wild Zelda universe. Tell us how you're dealing with that. Tell us how you're feeling about Age of Imprisonment.
Sure. Though I might just think it's more about your fatigue thing. It's probably more about like literally being in the same Hyrule.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like it's necessarily like anything else. Yeah,
totally. That's it.
However, this Age of I'm gonna say this name probably wrong at least once because I'm gonna confuse it with Age of Calamity.
For sure.
Mentioning both, so I apologize in advance. But Age of Innocence kind of
Imprisonment.
Sorry.
Age of Innocence is the Daniel Day-Lewis film, right?
Yes. Age of Imprisonment delivers on what Age of Calamity initially was touted as gonna deliver, and they kind of didn't really follow through on it. It is, without spoiling too much about Age of Calamity, it is a giant what-if scenario. It is not canonical.
Wow. So we're pondering the question, what if, Damiani?
So, and to like, put it into context, one of my biggest gripes, besides the lack of proper dungeons and in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and despite what Tears of the Kingdom did, I still think it did a good enough job of implementing dungeons. The other big issue was the storytelling mechanism. I felt both games Nintendo didn't know what to do, so they just went with this, like, we can't account for where the player's going to go in this giant open world game.
Yeah.
That's the main focus of the game, is exploration and the player being able to do whatever the hell they want, not the narrative. And thus, the narrative, in my opinion, was very flat and uninteresting. And it has a twofold problem that in both games, the narrative's core development, like about the characters and why you care about it, is set in the past. It's not even set in the present of what you're playing. It's set in a different time period. Age of Calamity was supposed to be like, this is what happened 100 years before Breath of the Wild. All those champions or what happened to them, like, it's like, oh shit, this would be like a tragic ass game. No, it's a cop out of a game. Besides that, to deliver on more narrative, it did a lot of things right. But this game, Age of Imprisonment, does all that, looks better because it's running on Switch 2, and it is canonical. In fact, like, I teased this on the group stream, but I'm actually very angry that this story is, like, elements of the story are just not in Tears of the Kingdom. Like, Tears of the Kingdom felt like it was a problem because it didn't want to acknowledge Breath of the Wild's existence. And for me, for someone to just care a little bit about that, I didn't want timeline bullshit. I'm like done with that. I've been done with that for like fucking years. I wanted a new, I want, like, you're starting with Breath of the Wild, make new stories. Tell me something new and continue from there. This is your chance to break free and be clean.
Totally.
And I was like, here we go. Tears of the Kingdom, a direct sequel. Yes, this is going to be great.
That was my hope.
I'm like, this would be awesome. They involve like Ganondorf. It's like technically the past stuff is a retelling of the Imprisoning War, the Seal War it's basically Ocarina of Time but like reimagined in a certain way. But you only get these like memory things, like 20, whatever the number of them, and that's it. You don't have this fulfilling story. You get fragments because they don't know how you're going to proceed through them. So just like put them out there for you to collect as you explore. Age of Imprisonment is that whole backstory. It is what happened to Zelda when she goes into the past. In Tears of the Kingdom. You're getting Ganondorf's backstory. You're getting Hyrule's backstory. Like, there's so much. I was like, what the hell is this not doing in Tears of the Kingdom? Like, this is an insult. But like, okay, so that's out of the way. Like that like, for some reason, Nintendo needs to figure out a way to take all the awesome shit they've done in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and take what the Hyrule Warriors team is doing with narrative and work that into the third Zelda, the new type of 3D Zelda they're doing, whatever it's going to be. It needs to have a different type of storytelling because I feel so much more invested. And you know the biggest testament I can say that? This game introduces random ass characters in the past. Like there's like a new Zora member, a new Goron member, new Rito member, random Hylian soldiers, and like I'm more like I know more about them. I care more about them because they have some backstory.
Yeah.
They're like in cutscenes,
We're never
like they're having
asking for
interactions and
much.
shit. And I'm
Just
like,
let
what
me.
the?
Yeah, I don't need some like Tolstoy novel of lore ever in a game. My only ask, I love narrative, like we always bring it up. The only thing I ever care about is like, just let me be invested in the characters. That's it. I'm not asking for anything more than that.
Yeah. And this, again, it is a Warriors Musou game. But one of the cool things it does, because it's so story driven, as characters are unlocked as dictated by the story. It's not like you have all these characters just available at the beginning and you select from them and you like, you know, they do have like independent leveling, they have weapons, like all the things from Age of Calamity are pretty much back in terms of that. Like there's like you do battles, you get rewards like rupees, materials that you can use for upgrades, and you know you unlock new power-ups. I'll get into the specifics about that in a second. That's all still there, but it like character unlocks are dictated by the story, and the participation is dictated by the story, which is really cool because in the context of the cutscenes you're seeing, you see them with you, and it makes sense. It would be like kind of weird if like a character joined you from who's like in a different part of the world. This game does have it's basically the Tears of the Kingdom version of Hyrule Warriors, just like Age of Calamity was the Breath of the Wild version.
Got it.
You have the surface level missions, you have the subterranean realm missions, you have the sky missions. You go to all those regions. The cool things they introduced into this one that are different. It runs at 60 frames smooth. Like it's really nice looking. It looks frame rate
really nice
Switch
in the
2.
trailer, Damiani. Actually, I'm very impressed by the look of this game.
Yeah, it just looks like Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild, like also running on Switch 2.
Yeah.
The cutscenes are a little bit higher like resolution, but like they go for like a lower frame rate for the cinematic presentation. I'm sure they could do it in 60, but it's meant to be more like a cutscene. But like sometimes like some of the like colors looked a little washed out like on some of the surface missions, but otherwise it looks very nice. It's not beautiful or gorgeous, but like I appreciate that it runs at a very nice frame rate, which has been a problem for the past games. It's like one of my biggest asks is like, please just get this to run at a smooth frame rate. This does it. It looks awesome. Tons of flashy attacks. They got some new things here. Structure of the game really quick. As I said, 3 different regions are back from Tears of the Kingdom. You do the missions, you have side missions, you have story missions, you have like the training grounds where you could like level up your character spending rupees. All that's back. But the difference in this one is Ganon, it's in the past. This is the small story specific detail I'll tell you. Ganondorf gets a hold of a Sacred Stone power. And he unleashes the Blood Moon and unleashes his army of like monsters, and Hyrule is overrun in the past. And you have to fight back region by region to drive him out. And if you neglect a region for too long, it'll give you a warning. You got to go back and like repel his forces.
Okay. Whoa,
because
Saints
if you
Row.
lose that, you lose access to the stuff you got in there, like some of the resource stuff.
This is Mafia 3.
It's not overbearing at all. Like it very rarely comes up, but it's like a cool concept because you have to flee after your battle where you don't really win. You have to go on the run, and you encounter other people in Hyrule, and you decide to aid them. You go to the aid of the Gorons, the Rito, the Zora. You recruit them, and it's part of the story. They join your team. They're optional characters, optional character missions where you can recruit. I got this one Zora swordsman who plays like Virgil from Devil May Cry 3. I was like, yo, what is this? I was like, why can't I use them in more missions? Like, dude, the sword, you got like the specific timing sword mechanic. I was like, it's so sick looking. And each character feels very unique. Like the Goron guy feels like very slow but powerful. I mean, there's an automaton that's called an unknown automaton or construct.
Immediately
which is the Link automaton. It like literally just has like the same moves as Link from Age of Calamity. You have Zelda. Okay, Echoes of Wisdom is complete bullshit because this game, Zelda's got a laser sword and doing sword mechanics and shit. She's fighting like melee style. I'm like, why? What was the excuse for Echo? Oh, because this is a spin-off and it's okay, but she can't do it in the main game. I was like, I don't understand. Like, why wasn't this type of combat in Echoes of Wisdom? But whatever, they were trying to do something different. I get it.
They were trying to do something different and not just have somebody rely on slashing things all the time.
I just want to get my punch in, but. Yeah, like characters like feel really good. And it's not overwhelming either. There's a little. You play the kind of gimmick character is a Korok swordsman. I pronounced his name wrong initially until I heard it spoken out loud. I thought it was like Kalamo, but it's Calamo. Calamo is his name, not Kalamo, because I was like, usually become a calamity.
Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, they all voice work. Everyone's talking. Really awesome to have that bring you to the immersion. Music, like really good music. One of the last stages I did was to reclaim one of the Rito areas. Dragon Roost Island remix is playing. I was like, hell yeah! Like this is good. Like also, you know, in the other games. But each
Damiani,
character
I want
now
everything about this game except playing it.
But except what?
Except playing it.
I don't think it's as tedious. I feel like missions are not very long in this. They're like the longest was like 10 minutes for a mission.
Great.
They keep them pretty brief. They're definitely more focused on like less of like the you know the remedial enemies you're gonna like just burn through, and more about like mini boss and more boss types.
Right.
And this game has some cool mechanics, new mechanics. They have the synergy attacks now, where if you fight near a teammate long enough, you build your character's like highlight in your character icon will highlight. You can hit the synergy attack, and you do this like combo attack basically, which is pretty sick.
Love that.
And each one has like a unique one that you can do. They have this whole like rock paper scissors system with your like you can equip abilities. You have like basic skills. Like one of them is like a shield bash with like the link construct thing, where if an enemy is charging at you, they'll like glow red, and like you can counter it, and you either counter it, they either dash at you, they leap in the air, sometimes they start throwing projectiles. You have like these counters for all of them, and once you do it successfully, when you hold down like kind of like the focus button, like it's like R button, you'll see the icon of what you're supposed to do to counter it, which is nice. It rewards you when you guess it right, but it's pretty self-explanatory. But they got the Zonai stuff in here, and they got a small hint of fusion stuff in here as well.
No.
So the Zonai tech runs on batteries. So you have like the flamethrower, you got like the
fans and the water.
The fan. Thank you. I was gonna say windmill, like fans.
In the trailer, yeah.
Yeah, they got all that stuff, and like that stuff is like awesome. I'm using that all the time. You think it's gimmicky? Like bosses, when you find out what their like elemental weakness is, I just like throw that shit out, plant it in front of them when they charge me. I'm just like, yeah, burn or get electrocuted. And like sometimes it interacts with the environment. Like if it's on like grass and grass on fire, it'll keep the flame going longer, even if like your battery thing runs out or the device runs out. Electricity, if they're in a puddle of water, it'll do like extra hits of them and like re-up it, which is really nice. You got like the rocket thing too, which is like is also like a good counter thing. No, Sid, that's my camera, no baby. There's like other ones you get too, and that stuff's really cool. And then fusion, like the construct link guy can take materials and fuse them to his weapons and add an extra effect to them. Some of them are like elemental effects. Yeah. Some of them are like different types of like attack.
A lot of the stuff from the core games there, yeah.
Yeah, so they added a little bit more to it, and that so it feels has more depth that way. I'm playing on normal. It is a little bit easy on normal, but like I personally want to feel the power trip in a Muso game. I want to feel like a god. I'm like destroying everything. From other people who played on the harder difficulties, like it is you got to know mechanics. Like you have to read the boss. You have to dodge or parry and do those things correctly. And there's like limited heals. Like it's very strict. So if you're looking for something that's way more challenging, they do have that on the difficulty settings as well, and they're all available from the beginning as well. And there's probably other things I want to say, but before I forget, this might be the last thing I'll say. There's like a Panzer Dragoon Star Fox type thing in this game. The Link construct has like a freaking flying eagle thing with Calamos with you, and you do like Star Fox levels where you're just like flying and lock on. So you use like the lock on missile Zonai tech. You use flamethrower Zonai tech. You shoot lasers. You dodge. There's like boss fights that do like that as well. Very straightforward. Not frustrating at all. Like maybe on harder difficulties they're frustrating, but they were like just fun little rewards that broke up, you know, the little curveball to the combat style of a Muso game, where it's like, yo, now I'm playing like Star Fox meets Panzer, because they do some side perspective missions where like, oh, this is definitely Panzer.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Didn't mess with amiibo support. I saw a question from Swordfish. I haven't touched that yet. There's a lot of fun. I just wish I had more time. Like I think I put 10 hours into it so far. I just wish I had more time now, because I just want to keep playing it.
Yeah.
I will keep playing it. But I feel like, you know, I was like, I want to spend all day playing this, but I can't do that. So
yeah, that's so awesome, Damiani. Yeah, I love how Dragon Quest Heroes implements mechanics and just Dragon Quest lore and the world into it, and like that's so fun here as well. Just the way it translates to a different genre, this thing you love, is so fun and exciting.
It's a good point. You reminded me of one more thing I want to say. There are bases. You can set up bases at certain points when you capture like an encampment, and you can add like bonus effects to yourself, like increase speed, increase the amount you recharge, or increase like experience. But then they add these vouchers you can earn that are like sensitive to the level you're on, and these vouchers will unlock special perks. And one of the perks you can unlock is reveal all the damn Korok seeds on the map. Yeah, take that, all you guide makers. As soon as I saw that unlock, I was like, here we go. All the other ones like refill your like super gauge, like add 5 temporary hearts. I'm like, no, maybe on harder difficulties you need that shit. I was like, no, I'm going with that.
Show me everything.
Also, there are like small like puzzle light elements, not really like bombable walls and stuff like that, like do appear for like, oh, behind that, and then there's like a Korok thing back there. Nothing too like. No, there's not really dungeons per se. I feel like some of the earlier underground levels, subterranean levels, felt like it was a little bit like a dungeon, but otherwise it's just the nature of like those Muso maps. They're very like corridor, wide area, narrow corridor, square like encampment. Like it's just the nature of their design, and they don't really deviate too much from that. But it does look like very authentic to the world of Tears of the Kingdom. Also, yeah, and
sounds
again.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's Damiani, like, this is big.
Yeah, I just I understand why it might be everyone's games. If you just like Muso games just cannot stand that type of combat. I do think they've like scaled that back and put more interesting mechanics in there to keep it like a little bit more appealing to players and to Zelda players and Zelda fans specifically.
It's a really good year for Muso fans. Age of Imprisonment and Dynasty Warrior Origins. Do not forget that game. That is a good game.
Good one.
Good Muso.
Real quick, Swordfish, yes. Best team up attack, synergy attack. Raru and Zelda. They just do like independently. The analog sticks control like 2 like light hyper beams. They use like aim and shit, and like you crisscross them and stuff. And then they do like a super mega beam, like a Mets Hadouken type shit. Like,
so a father-son Kamehameha. Yeah,
father-son
Gohan. There we go.
There we go. I mean, they're kind of like distant relatives. So I mean,
it's perfect.
Kind of.
It's a nod. It's a nod.
Great grandfather daughter.
So good. All right. Wow. Very encouraging take of Age of Imprisonment from Damiani. Definitely putting it on some radars, I would imagine. If you like this conversation, become a $5 and up patron. You get ad-free cuts, extended cuts, all of the cuts, and you get to get into our Discord and more. Patreon.com/EasyAllies.